You're a kid at home on a boring Saturday morning. What else do you do but turn on some good old 4Kids? Home of Dragon Ball Z Kai, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Digimon Fusions, and the One Piece dub. Excellent. Yes, many have fond memories of this programming block, and today we are going to talk about one of the block's more highlighted shows, Sonic X. While there have been many Sonic cartoons in the past, Sonic X was the only one made in Japan. Normally, American companies like to screw up outside properties, but the Sonic series has always managed to turn out some good cartoons in America. Heck, even Sonic Boom is a pretty decent comedy, but that's a review for another day. So, with Sonic X being made in its home turf, surely it'll give us an experience that far exceeds that of the American-made cartoons, right?
What can possibly... Dear God, no!
Sonic X starts off on a peaceful night. We see Big the Cat fishing where else but Dr. Eggman's lair. You know, when I think of fishing spots, what else comes to mind but next to the headquarters of an evil villain?
Yeah, you know, I heard the hotspot of the season is just 3 miles down the road. It turned right into the woods for about a mile, and it's right next to the Hall of Doom. If you hit Wily's castle, you've gone too far.
Eggman's base starts to raise its alarms as Sonic starts an assault on the fortress. And let me tell you that Sonic is in no hurry. Yeah, let me just say that this show has some of the slowest action scenes I have ever seen. In any other show, I could look past this, but it's Sonic the Hedgehog! Look at other cartoons. See how fast they portray Sonic? How they make him seem like it's the fastest thing alive? Well, not here. The more I watch of this, the more I understand just how Eggman outran Sonic. Oh no, gotta go lightly jog away! After realizing that he probably shouldn't have skipped leg day, Tails comes flying in to literally get shot out of the sky.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna save Sonic!
No, here's the real clip.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna save Sonic!
Tails shoots Sonic a ring that makes him go almost sort of not quite supersonic. This gives him the power of being a still frame with cheap effects around it, which lets him destroy all of Eggman's robots, but was this really necessary? I mean, why didn't Sonic just take the ring in with him? It would have saved him time and he obviously needed it. Did Tails really have to risk his life to give Sonic something he could have taken from the start? Speaking of which, just as Tails and Amy are about to crash into a rock, they get saved by the one and only.
It's Big Green!
Let that child alone.
We cut to Eggman, who's enacting his evil plan, with Cream held captured. And now I have to ask, out of the entire Sonic cast, why is Cream the one captured?
You're wrong, Creamy Dreamy. Creamy Dreamy. Creamy Dreamy.
Oh god, no. Oh, and also Rouge is here. We don't get an explanation for why she's here, nor does she contribute to the fight in any way. She's just here because, personality. Thankfully, Sonic busts in to stop Dr. Eggman's evil and rather disturbing plan.
There's nothing more cool than being hugged by someone you like.
However, Eggman already has everything he needs to activate his machine, which will do something not really explained. Also, Eggman has had everything he needed all this time to activate the machine, yet he waited till Sonic stormed his base and crashed into his room to get it started? That makes no sense. What could he have possibly been doing all this time stopping him from activating the
Creamy Dreamy.
Oh. With the button in hand, all Eggman has to do is push it?
All I have to do is to push this little button.
Any time now.
Why don't you give it a try?
You have had 30 seconds since Sonic crashed into this room.
Don't let him get away!
Just push the button!
Here we go! What have you done?
Sonic got bored with all of this non-button pushing and decided to screw up the machine, causing a massive nuclear explosion to shroud all of the Sonic cast. And while the other look in horror as their world implodes in a doomsday explosion, Big the Cat just looks slightly miffed that it's disturbing his fishing. Afterwards, we cut to Sonic unconscious in the eternal void of terrible Sonic games. Sonic wakes up and, after having some PTSD flashbacks, he finds himself in a new world. And what's Sonic's first thought after seeing humans? However, before Sonic could go feasting on the flesh of the innocent, the cops arrive to deal with the strange new creature. And when one attempt at capturing him fails, it's time for some good old police brutality.
Why, you little... Take it easy. I think we can handle this without getting rough.
Thank God this kind and reasonable officer showed up when he did. Now we can put the situation in their well-capable hands.
Okay, now when I say the word, we're all gonna jump him at once.
Only 3 minutes in America and Sonic's already getting ganged up on by the police. Hashtag Sonic Lives Matter. But our hero Sonic outsmarts the Popo and takes off, causing the police to send all units after this blue hedgehog that has done nothing wrong. But after all attempts to capture him has failed, the police only have one last resort.
Don't worry. I think we've got what it takes to round up our furry little friend.
The Speed Team!
Okay, but I just have to ask, why does the police have a speed team? Look at these dorks, who could possibly take any of them seriously? And they look like they don't even have their cars ready. Yeah, they spend what feels like hours building their cars and talking about the weather and road structure.
What's the temperature of the road surface tonight?
It's about 70 degrees.
Breeze from the west?
Almost nothing.
Road, pitted or smooth?
Nice and smooth.
What's the use of a speed team if it takes hours just to actually respond to an emergency? Look at this car, didn't even have a steering wheel in it yet. Also, why are they just now heading out? If this speed team has the fastest cars in the police force, shouldn't they be the ones responding to the most urgent reports? Dying of a heart attack? Not a problem. Got a mugger in your house? Who cares? A blue hedgehog minding its own business and going for a light jog? Suit up, boys, we're going in balls deep! After their cars are finally ready, they start slowly heading out.
Speed Team!
While they snail on by, we see Sonic kicking it back on a lamppost and having some pretty deep thoughts.
The sky looks the same. So do the stars and the moon. I traveled through space. Did I travel through time too? Am I the only one here? Are all the others gone?
But screw character building, the speed team arrives at the nick of time to stop the hedgehog from loitering, because that small fire at the kitten orphanage can wait. And what else would the speed team do but slowly pull up to Sonic and have a chat?
Speed Team!
It's way too peaceful. Over the last 12 months, I've only made one arrest.
So wait, the speed team, this high-tech and very expensive task force, has only made a single arrest in just 12 months?
Speed.
But we finally get to see the speed team actually do something fast for once. However, this begs the question, what was their plan? Sonic's not in a car, so how can they trap him? And they can't just arrest him by hand as he can outrun them on foot, so what was their objective here? I think even one of the team members realizes how bad of a plan this was as he thinks he ran Sonic over.
Where is he? Did I run him over? Huh? What happens if kids start trying this?
Kids, don't use Formula One race cars to chase hedgehogs.
I can't help but feel this was a jab at 4Kids censorship. Anyways, as the speed team doesn't seem to have enough speed to capture Sonic, the leader decides it's his turn with Sonic, which he uses what I have to assume is some very illegal nitro that makes his car start hulking out. But apparently Sonic just has the speed to completely outrun him now. It's something that would have helped him out of a handful of situations, but we all know Sonic only likes to go slightly fast before breaking the sound barrier. However, before Sonic could start warping through time, they ran out of road, which sends Sonic soaring through the sky. In reality, those wind turbines should have been destroyed and the city should have had a massive power outage, but let Sonic have his moment. And what a nice moment it was, until Sonic lands himself in someone else's backyard swimming pool. Now, Sonic is in a helpless, life-threatening situation that he can't escape from. a situation that has traumatized kids with intense music and fear of an ever-approaching death. So, how do they portray this scene? Yeah, no, this is the music that should be playing. When all hope seemed lost, Sonic gets saved by a human kid named Chris, and within the first few seconds of meeting each other, fate bounds them both by an unbreakable friendship.
I didn't think you could talk.
Well, I can do a lot of things.
This just got really uncomfortable. But with that, this is the start of their mini adventures together, and that was the start of Sonic X. As a kid, I loved this show, and rewatching it as an adult has made me realize it's a bit sillier than I remember, and it's not intentional. All of the show's attempts at jokes just fall flat, and when they try making everything so serious, it ends up making for some really funny stuff. Like the Speed Team, I laughed more at them than I did of any other actual jokes. I think my biggest problem with this show has always been its action segments. They tend to be very slow and they usually don't have much going on in them. That's not something you want out of a show based on Sonic the Hedgehog. And again, the jokes can be very cringy. There's still some fun to be had with how serious they try to make everything. While it's definitely not the best Sonic TV show, it's still a lot of fun. And it will always have a special place in my memories of 4Kids. Rest in peace. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to help support future reviews, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.